Right.
So can go on.
Please, nobody should touch the spotlight. We're doing it purposefully. Thank you. Miley, you are free to go ahead now.
All right. So I entitled this poem, Ambazonia. Are you angry or hopeful? Does your plight hit you hard on the face as you cluster around the hearth to read the story of your past, to listen and to reason? Never has deception been so artfully intertwined with meaningless reports and phraseology. Referendum and plebiscite, the latest, to confuse a future generation, those eager minds intent on the truth alone. We tremble at the realization our history has been cooked, shared and handed down the ladder of crafty men whose sole intent is to annihilate a people and rob our nation of its goods. Ambazonia, yours is the mind that has refused deceit, confusion, misperception, uncertainty, all intended for your generation by political hawks that roam the Wall Street to gather cheap chicks. Though the heart within you throbs at silent moments with a rhythm of fear, more subtle than the rattling and cracking of your bones, yet your determined will stands guard. It fortifies you against the invaders, hilarious and senseless, who stretch their hand to usurp your land and shed your blood on your own ground. The whisper of traitors too, we know from our ranks, is also perceived. Your fortified will stands its ground. Take hold of it. It has become the hammer that shatters the fake political text and exposes the slurs, the smears, and the deceit. Amazonia will stand firm. Ma Eli Jamele.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Please, let's have
Congratulations, my
have our microphones and give
beautiful.
Wow. 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 Thank you, Miley. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miley. Thank you.
She prepared.
Thank you.
She prepared this poem in less than 1 hour.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miley.
That is excellent.
Thank you. Really, our Miley, our Maya Angelou. Thank you. Thank you.
No, she is Maile because you were learning T.S. Eliot, you never knew. I am learning Maile now because I know her now, and this poem is written in the template of my heart. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Amen.
Man.
Put some money down. Let's put some money down for that poem. $25 for that poem. Everybody should support that poem.
Thank you, Marben. Wow.
Hello, $25. Let's support that poem.
Thank you, Marben. We'll do that.
Put my name down, Lucas.
And we move the program forward.
We will do that. Yeah, we move on with the program. This time we are calling on the SOS of the Department of Home Affairs and Community Mobilization, SOST. You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Then you will enlighten the people.
Your Excellency, the Vice President.
If we really can't get that country.
Honorable Madam Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives. I think someone should mute Ma Benedicta, please, so that we can have a smooth discussion here. Okay.
Go ahead. Where are you? I can't see you. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I am there already. Am I not on video?
You are not on video. You just came.
Am I on video?
Yes, we can see you now.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Moderator. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Honorable Madam Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, distinguished chairs, commissions, and members of government, honorable members of the Interim House of Representatives, county and LGA executives, all protocols recognized, fellow Ambazonians, revolutionary greetings wherever you are, from the home front to the diaspora. For those who don't know me, I'm Steve Nebafu, your Secretary of State for Home Affairs and Community Mobilization. I will be presenting on the subject of genocidal activities of La République du Cameroon since 1961. I would like to start by thanking the Department of Education and Strategic Collaboration led by Professor Beatrice and her team for planning this reflective and educative program on this fateful day, the 20th of May, which reminds of our collective bondage under the tyranny of French Cameroon. If the 30th of September 1961, the eve of our Independence Day, when French Cameroon colonial forces marched into our territory, South Cameroon's Ambazonia, was the day we were annexed and recolonized. Then, 20th May 1972 was the day they attempted to completely format our identity as a people and erase our status as an independent, equal state like theirs. I deliberately use the word attempted because if they had succeeded in their manipulative agenda of assimilating us as a people, we wouldn't have been here today fighting with all we have to restore our statehood and enjoy sovereignty and international recognition as the 55th state of Africa and the 196th state in the world. I assure you, fellow compatriots, that we shall accompany our mental emancipation, which we achieved in 2017, when our people marched in their millions in the streets of Ambazonia to defy a colonial master Cameroon that had enslaved and subjugated us for 6 decades. When our people came out on the 22nd of September 2017 with peace plans, all they wanted was to tell the slave master that they had had enough, that business will not be as usual again, and that our status as an annexed, colonized, subjugated people in a fake union that has no legal backing was over. They had followed the lawyers and the teachers' strike that was ongoing. The enemy, La République du weapons to wipe out our peaceful protesting citizens. Armed genocidal thugs in the name of La République du Cameroon military were deployed with instructions from the nano-denarian dictator Paul Biya to gun down our people in their thousands using helicopter gunships. Those gunships hovered our cities, towns, and villages, and our people were shot down again. This act of barbarism, characterized by extrajudicial killings, was repeated again on the 1st of October 17, when our former president declared the restoration of our statehood as it was following United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1608 of April 21, 1961, and establishing a government, as was the case when statesman and Prime Minister EML Ndele and other peacefully left the Eastern House of Assembly in Enugu, Nigeria, and set up a Southern Cameroon's government in Boya in 1954. 2016, when the lawyers and the teachers' strike started, and 2017, when our civil society and population in the home front took to the streets to challenge the colonial status quo, marks what is known as the reignition of our liberation struggle. The next logical question is, when did this liberation struggle start? Was it in 2016 or in 1961, when we were annexed by the Republic of Cameroon? I've often used this analogy to explain the reignition of our liberation struggle. It goes thus. If a colonial government has ignored or minimized the plight and concerns of the subjugated masses for decades, and assuming that on a very hot, dry season day, with soaring temperatures, the majority of our subjugated people met at the public square to avoid the heat indoors. Then, during their discussion at the public square, a peaceful revolution starts. What then can we say is the cause of the revolution? Is it the scorching sun that fateful day, or the plies and the concerns of our subjugated masses that have been ignored for decades? The answer, obviously, is the latter. From the above analogy, we can deduce that the lawyers and teachers' concerns during their strikes were mere colonial symptoms of the root cause of our liberation struggle. Their concerns were like the scorching sun that caused our people to meet at the public square. They are what we call the problems of Southern Cameroon. What we are fighting for that has brought us this unprecedented genocide on our people by the barbaric regime of French Cameroon, aka La République du Cameroon, is about the problems of Southern Cameroons, which has to do with marginalization, etc., as brought forth by the lawyers and the teachers. We are fighting to make right the wrong of what we call the Southern Cameroon problem, which is the root cause of the problems of Southern Cameroons. This involved the failed decolonization process of 1961, the fake federation projected by French Cameroon, and the phony unitary arrangement organized through the so-called 20th May 1972 referendum. Having explained the above, it is clear that if we solve the Southern Cameroon problem, we automatically solve most of the problems of Southern Cameroons caused because of our annexation and recolonization by French Cameroon, aka La République du Cameroon. Therefore, those who think that this liberation struggle started in 2016, for whatever reason, have fallen short of their understanding of the historical facts. Genocidal acts in Southern Cameroon's AMBAZONIA did not start in 2016. Genocide in Southern Cameroon's AMBAZONIA started immediately after 1961, when our annexation and black-on-black colonization effect. Article 2 of the United Nations Genocide Convention of 1948 defines genocide as, and I quote, any of the following acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. 1. Killing members of the group, causing serious bodily and mental harm to members of the group. Third, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group. Forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. In other words, genocide is the intentional and organized eradication of a particular group of people based on their ethnicity, race, religion, or nationality, And I emphasize on the word nationality because that is where we belong. It entails various acts like large-scale killings, torture, displacements, and other violent actions with the aim of completely eliminating the targeted group. Genocide is widely regarded as one of the most atrocious crimes committed against humanity. That is exactly what is happening in the former UN Trust territory of British Southern Cameroons. Our people are being slaughtered in large scale, not for what they have done, but for solely because of our nationality. Furthermore, the former United Nations Secretary General, the late Kofi Annan, once said, and I quote, "A genocide begins with the killing of one man, not for what he has done, but because of who he is." I want you to take note on the emphasis on one man, not two. Those of our compatriots who deny the existence of genocide in Ambazonia, I mean those one Cameroon federalism advocates, are either intellectually dishonest or have been paid by the enemy to distort facts. As of today, the 20th of May, 2023, going by the figures from the Department of Statistics and Archives of the interim government, more than 50,000 Ambazonians have been killed due to the ongoing massacres and perpetual extrajudicial killings. More than 2 million IDPs and refugees are living in dire conditions both in our territory, neighboring African countries, and beyond. Beyond here implies Europe, America, Asia. More than 500 Ambazonian villages and settlements have been burned down as a result of French Cameroon's scorched earth policy, roasting vulnerable elderly citizens and children in the process. Rape victims have skyrocketed to the tens of thousands. Many Ambazonian women and children are now widows and orphans, respectively, struggling to survive the loss of their loved ones and the economic hardship that comes with it. Hundreds of our prisoners locked up in their dungeons have been summarily executed and buried in mass graves. Ambazonian journalists have been executed just for reporting the truth. Some disappeared, as was the case with Wazizi. What crimes did these victims commit? Their only crime, in quotes, was that they are people of a different nationality, the Ambazonian nationality. The massacres since 2016 are undeniably crimes against humanity. And the humanitarian and psychological costs on our people are huge. I am consoled by the fact that justice will one day prevail. Ambazonia will be completely free. And those genocidal French genocidaires, if I could use that kind of tautology, who caused these atrocity crimes will be brought to book. Today, as we commemorate the victims of the genocide, let's recall the few cases that are, the few recent cases that are documented. May 2023, the Mamu Ekona massacre, Moyoka LG, 6 victims, several wounded. March 2023, the Ndop massacre, 15 victims. February 2022, the Mundoni massacre, 5 victims, 44 injured. December 2022, Ye Jakri incident, the burning down of houses by genocidal thugs, killing at least 4 civilian Ambazonians. That is also a massacre. September 2022, the Kuflu and Takuf massacre in Bui. A couple and their infant child were summarily executed in their home. August 2022, 3 Ambazonians summarily executed on the streets of Bamenda. July 2022, the Ikiliwindi massacre, 4 victims. And also on that very day, we had the Batibo massacre and the burning of houses. Number of victims, we have not been able to get the exact number of victims in that incident. June 2022, the Mison massacre, Fungom LG Menchuk County, 9 victims, including an 18-month-old baby. May 2022, the Oboni and Kajifu Akpaya massacre, more than 20 victims, more than 70 injured. Several homes burned down. December 2021, Gomram Bamenda massacre of 2 innocent teenagers and burning of houses in Mankon. November 2021, the Kondo Titi massacre, 4 victims. October 2021, the murder of 5-year-old Diale Caroline in Boya on her way to school. Just to release these recent few. These are just a few of the most recent documented massacres. Let us not forget let us forget the other numerous massacres that were well published and of course documented. The Ngabu massacre, the Menka Pinin massacre, the Fang Bali massacre, the Mautu massacre, the Bole Bakundu massacre, the Ekundo Titi massacre, the Jamut Miami massacre, the Bakri Town Sampit massacre, the Kumba massacre, the Kwakwa massacre, the Mbangem Nu massacre, the Ebonji massacre, the Maluf massacre, the Alocho Bakundu massacre, the Alaachu Mankon massacre, and the Bafut massacre, etc. The list of extrajudicial killings and the massacre is long. And I just presented these few to assure you that every atrocity crime in AMBAZONIA throughout this genocide is being documented to the best of our ability. There are many that are difficult to be documented because of the lack of information. I appeal to everyone to report any atrocity crime in their AGA, to report any atrocity crime to their AGA leadership or to us or to the Directorate of Statistics and Archives, headed by Dr. Mark Atugo. Prior to the reignition of this liberation struggle in 2016, an extermination agenda had been in place by the Ahijo regime since 1961, which was later continued by the Biya regime as they tried to assimilate us. That was the beginning of the genocide in AMBAZONIA. The targeted killing of AMBAZONIA intellectuals and the targeted killing of AMBAZONIA intellectual and statesman Zachary Abendon in 1963, whose closeness to Prime Minister John Funcha in the KNDP party became a threat to Ahijo continuous assimilation agenda. The deposition of statesman Augustine Gonjoa as Premier of the state of West Cameroon, in quotes, by Ahijo in 1967 paved an unimpeded way to the assimilation agenda and the genocidal pursuit of Amadou Ahijo. Joa will later die at the young age of 53 in 1977. We don't know why he died. We don't know what happened. But your guess is right. The unexplained disappearance and targeted killings of top brass Southern Cameroon politicians who questioned the federal outfit imposed on us in 1961 were not unconnected to the Yaoundé regime's genocidal plan, exacerbated by the discovery of oil in our territory, specifically at the Rio de Rey Basin in 1972. How can we account for the Lake Nyos massacre of 1985? Through gas poisoning, which left more than 2,000 of our citizens dead, as well as more than 3,500 livestock killed. No credible investigation has been carried out on the Lake Nyos massacre. Let us not forget the Ndu massacre of the 90s when French Cameroon military thugs stormed into markets, killed innocent civilians, and even inserted broken bottles in the private parts of female traders. That's what happened. Let us remember the mid-80s and 90s when our students, both in tertiary and secondary educational sectors, protested for a change in the educational system so that our cultural Anglo-Saxon subsystem can be preserved. They were molested, arrested, and locked up in dungeons, and many of them were summarily executed. We can go on and on to conclude. I know I've taken more than enough time. I'm sure I'm having a call from the moderator to keep it brief, but I did not answer the call. But I do understand that that should be the reason for that call. That is a idea. I guess that should be it. But I just want to conclude. The genocide on our people has been on since 1961. The only difference now is that the magic tool of technology, especially the social media, is here to expose these atrocity crimes. The silver lining amidst all these atrocities is that in the end, justice will prevail and Ambazonia will be completely liberated and free. Let's remain focused. Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our SOS for homeland and community mobilization. Thank you very much. You gave that very.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I want to make an open request so that I don't start rushing behind the Secretaries of State. All the speeches, please kindly put your letterheads of your departments and give them so we can update the website to them. This was, I would say, the speeches are well calculated and a landmark. Congratulations.
Yeah, you just took it out from my mouth. I really
please put your letterheads and let's update the website.
Yeah, I really wanted to say that it will be worth the while for the Department of Home Front and Community Mobilization to even get a booklet, to have a handbook on this information so Amazonians can have them, because we really, really forget how many people, how many of us have been killed during all of these massacres, and here and there. We may just hear them thinking that it is just something to pass by. No, it is something to really reflect and re-reflect and do something. You know, our SOS gave us a list of definitions of genocide. It just came to my mind to say a genocide is a colonial weapon that the colonial masters used to suppress the colonized. And after the colonial masters left, when they left, they taught French Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, very well the tactics, how to suppress people. That was how you saw they now infiltrated and took over our country up to today. So we should not joke with genocide. That is what has come to our doorsteps, and we should do everything to push away this plague, this accursed thing from amongst us. It is a call for every Ambazonian. I can see Barrister Soul's hand is up, but before then, Barrister, before we take your hand, I will just plead your indulgence that the Department of Communication, Dr. Mungwa, will be coming with tools for successful communication, and then the ABC TV board chairman, Chairman Amos,
I just wanted to react.
Be structuring something to us. Barrister, I'm coming. Then after that, we will get to the Department of Defense. After Barrister, please, Dr. Mungwa, please help us have your hand up so we can mute you, or you could be made a co-host. So over to you, Barrister.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mara Rachel. Thank the Secretary of State for that brilliant expose. I just wanted to signal that for a very long time since the war started, the international community, aided by some human rights organizations, have put the number of people killed in our
You need to wait here for a while.
to more than 3,000. It has stayed 3,000 for for almost 7 years. But we are saying that our director of archives should have at least some database to track down the number of deaths. But we are estimating the deaths so far more than 50,000 of our people who have been slaughtered by La République du Cameroon. And we are estimating that more than 500 villages of our people have been razed down, where our old mothers and fathers have died because they cannot run away from the flames. So these are statistics that we need to keep, because tomorrow a barrage of lawyers, of common law lawyers of Ambazonia will be asking for La Republic to account for all the atrocities that they have committed on us. That is the small comment I wanted to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you very much for that input. Thank you. And now we are rolling in the Department of Communications with Dr. Mungwa. You have about 10 to 15 minutes for your department, and the chairman of the ABC board, Mr. Amos or Dr. Amos Tumenta, will be highlighting us on some few issues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all protocols respected. And thanks for this very important session that you brought, at least to show Ambazonians that we are all fighting together toward achieving our ultimate goal, which is independence. When you talk about channels of communication, or what we can do in order to communicate to the world what is happening in our country, we have to think about several things. And again, sorry, I was actually out of the house and when I was contacted. But in any case, I think I'm ready to talk about this. First of all, let's talk about communication in itself. We are very happy and for the fact that ABC has been one of the military arm of this struggle, if I can put it that way. Because without ABC, nobody will know what is happening around us, let alone Amazonians or those at the home front. So we are a key player in this revolution. Again, I want to emphasize the word revolution. And when we talk about communication, there are several aspects that we have to look into. First, we have to talk about the audience. It's very important that when we talk about communication, we have to define the audience, which means that depending on the audience, the communication has to be packaged in such a way that it is absorbed or it is understood by the audience. For instance, we are talking at the level of the people on the home front. You realize that we speak in English or we speak in Pidgin, and in some cases we like to actually speak in the dialect because it's going to have the most effective impact on the ground. If you are talking to the foreign media or to the foreign to the international community, we also have to package it in such a way that they understand what the situation is. Now, when it comes to communication itself, I always think about two things. I talk about operational excellence and I talk about customer focus. You really have to do in such a way that it targets the audience, it targets the people you are talking to, and you have to package it excellently in such a way that they will be very excited when they get hold of it. If you've been looking, in recent past, for example, some of the international press conferences that we've had, we have modeled it in such a way that we want maximum effect. We want to make sure that the audience can actually understand what we are talking. So not only do we use technology, we also make sure that even the language is targeted. is targeted to the issues, and we make sure that we don't we don't use convoluted language. We are very targeted. So that is very important. And when I talk about customer focus, is the same thing. Who are your customers? Who are you talking to? There are times that you package something to the customer, and the customer doesn't get it. Why? Because there are some lapses. There are some fillers that will make it very difficult for the customer to understand. Now we also have a tapestry of channels that we use in order to send our communication. I think the director of ABC, Mr. Paddy Tar, I think he's been very, very good at that. You look at our website, how the website is updated. And we also look at some of the at times even flyers that we send out, which is in fact some of the things that we really have to develop moving forward. We'll have to identify some stakeholders who have make certain pronouncements that are positive, as far as this revolution is concerned. We want to send out flyers so we can communicate that to the home front. This is something that we have not done, but we've thought about it. We're just thinking about the mechanisms, how we can actually design flyers and put messages that people have said, prominent people, to remind our home front or the audience that we are fighting this war at different fronts. We also have to think about audio. Audio has been very, very effective as well, because audio is something that goes really, really far. Many people, or if not the majority of those at home, they do have smartphones. So audio has been very effective to go very, very deep into our communities. And the way it's done nowadays with smartphone, you can have about 200 people whom you communicate with, and with just the touch of a button, they're going to get that information. And because the size of the material too is much smaller than video, video too is very good, but at times it has limitations because people may not really have the storage capacity to take video. So these are the channels that we've used. I mean, of course, we talk about electronic media. We even talk about the print media. Gradually, some of the newspapers have been reporting at the home front some of the activities of the interim government. And this has been very successful in the sense that they simply report what they see as opposed to conjecture, guessing what we're thinking about. So when there's a press conference, they can put a summary of that press conference. It is very important for those who can read it and make cross boundaries. Means that not only will Ambazonians read it, you have non-Ambazonians will also read it. We've also had the opportunity to extend over to the international media in the sense that we'll be able to publish some of the activities of the interim government and what we stand for in foreign media. For example, in Nigeria, I think we've had a lot of positive output or feedback from that part of the world, and we are going to continue. So, I mean, these are the various channels that we've been using so far. I think one of the areas where I would really want to see some sort of improvement is the idea of flyers. There are topical issues that or statements that prominent people have made, and they have all died in WhatsApp groups. I think we should establish a forum whereby we can extract these statements made by these prominent people and put them in flyers and be able to print them in large quantities and distribute in Amazonia. That will be an effort, which obviously needs some financial backing. And that's why we have been a little bit reluctant to go in that area until we establish a good financial package for such communication. So this is what I can really think about. And again, as I said earlier, ultimately, we always have to identify the audience. Communication is totally immaterial if you don't know who the audience is. And when you know the audience, you will know how you can communicate with that audience. Whether we are talking to primary school kids, or we are talking to the general public in Amazonia, or we are talking to the elite, we are talking to the international community. It is important that we identify who that audience is. And again, I talk about customer focus. I talk about operational excellence, and the whole idea of putting this together. It takes time, and it needs people who are focused on delivering something that it's really good. But before terminating, again, I want to take this occasion to thank ABC Television and all the supporters of ABC Television, not only those who work directly with ABC and the other arms of ABC, the ladies who present the Horizon, those who deal with history, those who deal with religion, and so on. These are all part and parcel of ABC. And I wish to take this occasion to really thank them for the selfless sacrifices that they have made in order to sell our story to the world. And as you can realize, you all know, I mean, you've all discovered that over the past year, we have made a remarkable change, a remarkable improvement on how ABC talks or speaks to the world. So this is what I have, and I would hope that perhaps somebody else, like Ma Endele can, or Mr. Amos Tumenta can, or Dr. Amos Tumenta can add something to it. Over to you.
Yes, over to you, Dr. Tumenta. We just did it in the way that communication should give us these tools, and the other important part that has to do with the funding of ABC and the people working behind the scenes to gather this fund is the ABC board. So, Dr. Amos, where you raise your hand so I can continue. Can you hear us? Barrister, is that an old hand or?
It's a new hand.
It's a new hand. Okay.
Can I?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'd like to thank the Secretary of State for Communication for that brilliant expose, and also thank ABC for the marvelous job they have been doing. Dr. Mongwa, you have revolutionized the communication landscape of the Ambazonian people. That said, there is one thing that I want to propose. We heard Tibu Nagi or Tibu Nash. I had proposed that we bring in some prominent Africans that will talk about our cause. Ambassador Arikana, Julius Mulema, or Professor Lumumba, and some other Africans that you can think of, so that ABC can take them on as guests, and they will react positively towards they may react positively towards the revolution. We have to find a way to find out where they are, where they are leaning, because Tibu Nash came on ABC and he took the best part of 3 weeks for us to analyze and see the damage that he has caused to the revolution, and so on and so forth. He himself came back on Twitter and tried to clean up, but we need to be very careful the people will invite. You cannot go and invite an enemy to come and put the revolution, take the revolution back a little bit. I'm not saying that you are not doing a job. You have to follow the editorial policy of the government, and please, we need to get some African personalities on ABC, so that we can react, and they will know our plight, and they'll be able to disseminate our plight.
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you very much. The SOS has heard you. The director has heard you, and I think they will certainly I believe they will certainly work on that. Thank you, Barrister. Yes, I'm a ABC board chairman. You are co-host. You can unmute yourself and come. Where are you? Chairman Amos?
If he's not there, we can go on to the next person.
Okay, if he's not there, I saw him just now.
I don't.
Yeah, so without much ado, we still have some work to go. Please, fellow Ambazonians, bear with us. This is a very long session. Just get some water to drink, get some tea or coffee. We still have Masera to come to us. We have my patients, and we still have the defense, and we still have the Dr. Ella, so of the foreign affairs. So he promised us to come back after talking to the yeah.
So it's an all-night affair.
Yeah. For us in Europe, it's already 1 a.m., but we are here rolling. We have to. It's a long session. So at this point in time, in the absence of the chairman of the ABC board, we are going to bring in.
I'm here, please.
Okay, then we need to hear from you. Come on board.
Just a second, please.
Okay. We can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah. Apologies. He called to say, you came in so early. Yes, you are welcome, Mr. Chairman of the board. So we will just, the Amazonian people are listening to you. You share with them what the board is, what you do, and what are your expectations. Thank you. You have 6 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Secretary and Moderator. Permit me to greet the President and Vice President, all protocol respected. Yeah, I want to thank also the Department of Education. That is our chair of chairs also, my important, for the great job. Yeah. We are here today in this particular workshop trying to educate ourselves and doing our nation building. I want to thank also the Secretary of State of Communication, which we are under the department that just spoken. Yeah, for the nice words. And since we are here today at this particular workshop for educating ourselves and doing this nation building, I would like us to take this particular aspect home, the respect of the rule of law, which is very important in a nation, and also the respect of institutional procedures. Those are things that are very important, and the respect of our institutions. Those are things that are very important, and without the above, there will be chaos. So from there, I'll start by presenting the structure of the ABC AMBA TV board, which is made up of grassroots representatives. Yeah, that is the county representatives and the country representatives. Then you have also a representative from the patrons, which is Mamanka, that have been working for long, even before those our brothers came with the coup plotting issue that we don't even want to mention today. Yeah. So we have been doing a great job since then. And we have, since I'm the chair of the board, we have a secretary, which is Matt Desom. We have the treasurer, who is our brother. We know where he is, Claude. We have the financial secretary, which is Cometa Kingsley. Yeah. And also, I'll just move also a bit above to talk about, to do the direct presentation of the communication department also, which I think is very necessary. We have the Secretary of State, Dr. Mungwa, the Deputy, Oben, and also we have the Directorate, Ma Emma, and the Director of News, Paddy. These are the structures that we have in the communication department and the board itself. Yeah, the board job is to educate and mobilize funds, works also on the accountability and transparency, and doing everything and managing the department or the corporation precisely for a good functioning. The ABC also try to educate our administrators in management, because there's something that we normally say that you can't spend more than what you receive, or you can't spend what you don't have. So the board is very sensitive with all those aspects of management. So I would also take this advantage also to thank also all the board representatives that they have been doing a great job. They have been doing a great job at their county level, trying to mobilize and sensitizing the counties, the grassroots, and their LGAs on the importance of our corporation, communication corporation, that is the ABC, Amber TV. We will do everything as a department to have a very successful telecommunication corporation, which is very important for the Ambazonian people to educate themselves and fight for their freedom, not only, and fight and take their freedom, because nobody will give us that freedom if we don't fight and collect it. And doing that, we need to support the revolution. Supporting, contributing, subscribing also on ABC. The website is there. We have also the AID, Ambazonia Independence Dues, the website. That is www.aidforcitizens.org. There you can also contribute as an anonymous. This website is one of the great achievements of this department as a whole, because we worked as a team and we came up with something that I think Ambazonians are proud of it. Yeah. So lastly, I would like to let Ambazonian know that we are working, doing everything possible so that the ABC television should be the source of information for our revolution, to present our revolution out there to the world, so that it should be a reliable source of information that we can send out to the world. And we'll do everything possible to bring that particular aspect that is very important, so that Ambazonians to feel free and confident to come at their own television, come on their own television, watch it and have their news, and therefore be satisfied and doing their contributions. So we want to talk about Ambazonian, and we'll talk about our history, which is very important. I will have to be proud of our history and present our history more to our people so that they should know our history. We have been deprived for our history for over 50 years, and we need to work on that as a communication department, as the ABC, and also the board to foster this particular objective. Give our history to our people, give the information of Ambazonian to their people, so that we should have this information, feed ourselves with this our information. Because a country or a people without a history is totally, you have just killed them. So we need to educate them. And since we were deprived from our history, we need to do everything possible to give that history to our people. So thank you. I will just round up by thanking everyone that been listening. Thank you all for the great job, especially the Department of Education, and more ables to our president for the great job that some of us today, some people are recognizing the job that he's doing back home, and especially to our RAF, that we stand with them and we will always continue to support them and give them everything that is necessary to take us to Buea. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman of the board. This board history really needs to be taught again because, you know, from the beginning, how it was born, but there's no time for that today. As Comrade Director Paddy said, each department or directorate should really give a brief, write a story of themselves with their letterhead and send it so that we need to update and upgrade our homepage. You know, the nitty-gritty that took place before this board came, and we fought very hard and put the finances in order and re-establish the 501c status of our ABC that was almost dying. So as you see this small hidden directorate, this small, it is hidden but very powerful. Well, let me not talk much. By the time their history or their report will appear on our website, it will be a masterpiece for everybody to go and read it, because it is bigger than what Chairman just said here.
That is well structured.
He just came back. So without taking much of our time, I can see Pastor Miss hand is up. Should we? Yeah, Pastor me 1 minute, please. While the Department of Defense.
Thank you very much, Marashel. I might be taking less than that time.
Thank you.
Yeah, all protocols respected. I am reacting to the brilliant presentation that has just been made by our communications secretary, Dr. Mungwa. He just said something that triggered a feeling in me, and I said we should share it because in as much as we want information to get to our people in the home front or on the home front, we might want to avoid doing flyers. This might be counterproductive. They are searching people's phones now. Imagine if they search somebody's handbag and see a flyer in it. It might be dangerous. This is just the reason I said, since it triggered in me, let me send it across. It could help. There's no other means I could reach him behind. I said I should just indicate by show of hand and make that contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. We'll pass that to the working group. We will take note of that. Thank you, Communications Department, and the input from Pastor Me. And as I said, thank you very much. We are heading to the Department of Defense. And after Defense, we will be having more patients of the Department of Women's Services. And Ma Sarah will be on the line if Dr. Ella not come. So, because money sums it all, Masara, you know your department, and then the National Treasury is also going to come and let us know what is going on there with some of the things that we've done there. So, thank you, Pastor Me and Chairman Amos.
Am I the person on staff now?
You are co-host, yes. You just come so I can pin you.
I'm using two devices because my the sound is not coming up, and my phone is also on, so I don't know where. I have pictures on both sides, so I don't know which one. I'll just speak, and if everybody gets it,
okay, you are the one without video.
Yes.
Magote, can you co-host him on the other one with video?
All right, let me do that.
We just have,
I can't see that one.
Okay.
Can you put the hand up on that one?
Let me put, I have a video.
Okay, that's
oh,
it.
Oh, we can
there
see you now.
There you go.
Yes, we can see you.
You can see me, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. We can
5
see.
on 5.
Yes. I really want to thank everybody. Thank fellow Ambazonians who are out there in home front, and those of us who are in the diaspora funding this war. It's been a while that we've had an assembly of all cabinet members to put out what they really are in this field of this war of liberation. And I want to thank the department for making that. One thing that picked up my mind earlier was Barrister Mbesi was saying that the Francophones are listening to us. I've thought for a long time, and I've talked about it, that we should be able to get our communication to the French side so that they understand where we are coming from, because we will have to get sympathy from those people. A larger number of those, when they do understand where we are coming from, they will not be getting their kids to go to die in Ambazonia. We have to make ourselves understood in all capacities, in every language and in every community. We cannot just cut off to our people lest we are speaking to ourselves or to foreigners who, for this moment in time, cannot really do too much to us, for us. With that being said, I want to say our revolution is strong, and our fighters on the ground are putting on a good fight, and the enemy is retreating psychologically from fighting this war. We have not had many of our soldiers fall in battle because we've re-strategized, and we are making our soldiers more battle-hardened and using common sense tactics in getting down the enemy. We are talking to our communities, and the more firepower we have, which is a character of what we are having with all the drafts that are available. We are getting the drafts every moment. And so far as we have this money on the ground, these soldiers are willing to put themselves on the line for us. But the fact is, when we have people like Ngale Ngale, who is so unscrupulous, and it's an imminent danger to outright conscientious stupidity as to his stance on this war, we cannot keep fighting against those type of ideas. We just have to go with those that we have to go for this war. The tendency is that we do not empower a lot of our people who can do a lot for us. We have to galvanize our people back home. We have to galvanize human intelligence, capital intelligence, to get what we must do to fight this war in Amazonia. If we go by regions, the southern region has picked up. We have all the actions that are going on in there. We are making the enemy understand that they are not safe anywhere in Amazonia. They were very confident and comfortable in the southern portion of our country, but they are beginning to reason that, well, they are really at war. And today showed them that today there was a detonation in Bongo Square that really showed them that there's a war in this part of our country. And they are the ones who came in there, and we seek them out, and we will have to take what measures we have to take to protect our people. So we've had a lot of action in Meme, in Manyu, in some parts of the BLM, in Tumbel, Maninguba. And it's fantastic that we have reawakened and we have rekindled the power and the confidence that we had in 2021 and 2000 early part of 2022 before the craziness got into the system. Our soldiers, as we said, we still need a lot of recruiting that we have to do. The population is still with us, but they are not committing financially to this, especially those of us who are abroad who are able to. So our major job is to go back there and start recruiting within our communities. There are so many people who, every community has felt the impact of this war. There is no one community that hasn't felt the impact of this war in Ambazonia. And while we stay back and say, okay, we cannot develop an apathy for this, or that you cannot do one thing, they said you start by one person. One person can contribute and get other people to contribute. Sometimes, as we said, we need people with expertise. We need people with metal expertise, chemical expertise, ballistic expertise, that they can get us into this battle in a common footing with La République du Cameroon. And we cannot do that with a limited resource pool that we have. We have very educated people in a myriad of fields that are very strategic in this war. And we want you guys to seek those people. If you cannot talk to them directly, get that information to us. And in my department, we'll contact those people and try to speak with them and try to see how they can get us to where we want to be. Most of the development on the ground have been groundbreaking research and stuff that we individuals have done and transplanted that information to our people on the ground. In the northern portion, it's very dangerous to the enemy as usual. They are being sent to home in their body bags, as many as they can. And we cannot thank the people from Abui to Ngoketunja to Mezam and all the other parts of the northern zone that are being touched by the enemy. But we also are drawn into the fact that the areas on Upper Bayang and in Batibo are sanctuaries for people who are counter to this revolution. There are people who are not only counter to it, there are people who are going out and killing civilians in our communities. There are people who are going out and harassing and collecting illegal taxes in our communities. And I want to tell our people who are in this meeting right now, who have relationship in those areas, to start rethinking the fact, because we cannot have a few group of less than 150 people to terrorize our communities wantonly and kill wantonly like they want. We want to start re-strategizing and talking, if we must, talk to the traditional chiefs, because they still have some bearing on their people. We can have to work as a group to do all these things that we must do. And I think we are seeking as much advice as we can get from anybody in this cabinet to help us. We want to allay a timeline where we have to get this thing resolved, because it's been a pest for more than a year or two. We have the other issue in the southern zone, which is another pesky idea that goes after our people. But we have to understand that there are some people in the southern zone who are not comfortable with what is going on, not comfortable because of the inability or the ideal of freedom, but they are not comfortable because of historical manipulation, historical falseness from La République and elites in that area who want to siphon the benefit from those areas and leave the people marginalized. We still have to have an education within our community, within the northern and the southern divide, to get people to understand why we are the one person and why we have to come together as one individual to fight the enemy, because we have a common enemy. Even if we walk away and may say the north-south divide, they're still going to have a lot of problems. But we have to make them understand their problem and see how we can solve those problems. And until then, this Department of Defense, we have our Secretary, Cheney, who is still within a gag order and who cannot participate in all this. But we have been really working hard in that department. The ANSC, the people of Upper Bayang with Ayamba, Willie, and all the other people in the southern zone. We have Commander Fombat, who are all transporting and exporting what we have to make them continuously fear too, that they are only at war. We cannot have the benefits of war in our side alone. If we have to suffer, everybody should suffer. We should have that carried on to them. But we've not carried on a full offensive in La République, because we are still galvanizing our know-how. We are still marshaling everything that we have to do, getting our human intelligence together. But eventually, they will have to face the music too. We are getting ourselves together, and this war is not going to end the way they want it to end. We have to make them to understand that they've swallowed more than they can chew. They will have to vomit it out. And that time is coming. And we are asking everybody to do their contribution. And not only you, I say, because we have to increase the volume of people. Even the lesser the burden is going to be if more people fund this war. So with that, on behalf of the Department of Defense and all my other lieutenants in this fight, I really want to thank everybody for giving us the time to talk to you guys. And we want to just have it in perspective. Uh, just let me put it like this. I would like to quote the Carthaginian General Hannibal Barca, who um, who in the third century had, in his fight with the Romans, had told his people that God has given to man no sharper spur to victory than the contempt of death. Our people have decided no intimidation, no beating of our people, no slapping them around will be enough again for us to cow and let them have their way. We were going to fight inch by inch, top rooftop by rooftop, and we're going to see who owns Ambazonia. And we are showing them that we own Ambazonia by looking at what's going on in their infamous 20th May. There's nobody in the streets. It seems like it's a ghost town. It seems all our towns are just like nobody ever existed there. So they are getting the image, they are getting the information bit by bit, but we have to soak them with that information. We have to make them understand that these things are once and for all. It will never happen again. We have been betrayed. We were betrayed so many times often, and we will never accept that betrayal anymore. So we want to keep our things together and keep our mind together and just continue funding the war, because we have thousands of people who are willing to put their bodies in line for this operation, but we need the funding. And we are thankful. Maya Ring and her crew are doing the best in the Department of Treasury and galvanizing people. But she alone cannot do it. We all do have to do what we have to do to do these things. And I said, only cabinet members are not going to be able to fund this war. We have to bring in more people. We have to bring non-Cameroonians. We have to bring non-Ambazonians. We have to bring Africans. We have to bring anybody who can contribute. And we have to look at that and get everybody. So I want to thank everybody this evening for giving us this chance to be able to talk to Amazonian people. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, DOSS Zama, for that explicit presentation from the Department of Defense. The department will always give them 21 gun salute. We send you this 21 gun salute to all our ARFs, from the LGAs to the county to the federal level, and to you people sitting here at the state level. We say 21 gun salute for the wonderful work, the sensitization. We could see the awareness from LGAs, all the pictures that came. Our people have been standing by, making sure that no fly comes out in such a way that even the La Republique, they were not able to put their heads outside. But for some fishy pictures that, can you imagine that they celebrated their fake day on the 17th of May in some of the, in some parts of our territory, because they wanted to further deceive the world that everything is fine. But it can never be fine. As you said, that some people will sympathize with us. Sometimes we go deeper than sympathy, looking for people that will have solidarity with us. Those are people in La Republique who stand for the truth, God-fearing people, and people who know God, and those who know that for real, these people are fighting a just cause. So why they are growing up to come and start manifesting their solidarity, Ambazonians, as I would take it, SOS quoted somebody, I just got the last part, there's no sharper victory than death. You and I should die contributing. Those that are laying their life, they are already dead, fighting on the war front. So what else do we expect than to fight for the generation to have a free homeland? Thank you very much, DOSS Defense Department. You have many affiliates like the ANSC, but there's no time today. Please, as Director Padi said, with your letterhead, write your short, brief story, and let's have it updated on our website so that people go in there, they will see what we are doing and how much we are doing it, the willingness to take us home. So thank you very much, and 21 again and again. Thank you. At this time, we are going to get Dr. Patience Abiedu of the Department of Women's Services. Thereafter, we are going to talk about how we gather gold like dust, how we gather the money. Ma Sarah is going to be telling us. So, Ma Patience, if you are there, the floor is yours.
Yes, I am here. Thank you, Ma Rachel. Hope you can all hear me.
Yeah, we do. I just want to take the LS away. Where are you? I want to pin you.
I'm right.
Okay. I can see. Okay. There you go.
Okay. All right. I first want to start by thanking the Department of Education and Strategic Collaboration for this wonderful educational session. I also want to thank those who have preceded me with presentations, educating our people on their different departments and what we must do to stay the course and acquire what we solely need to do. Mr. Vice President, members of government, all protocols respected. I was hoping that Masumi, the Undersecretary, would give this presentation, but she recently traveled and I think she's experiencing some jet lag. So I will go ahead, I will proceed with it. Never again, that was a declaration made by the leaders of the United Nations, the United States, and the world at large after the Holocaust. In the aftermath of the Rwandan genocide, the United Nations declaration that their reaction to the East African nation was really a letdown. Late Kofi Annan, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, said, and I quote, "The international community failed Rwanda, and that must leave us almost with a sense of bitter regret." Thus, the Never Again campaign was reborn. But were those just empty words? Now let's look at the case of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Millions of women, children, and families in the Southern Cameroon's liberation struggle have been negatively impacted by a war imposed upon them by President of French Cameroon on November 30th, 2017. This brief expose that I am talking about will really address the plight of the women, the children, and the elderly. Additionally, there will be the predicament of thousands of prisoners of conscience languishing in dungeons in La République, and some parts of Ambazonia will be highlighted. Throughout history, vulnerable populations often face neglect, hardship, and exploitation in warring environments. This is the case of the Midland, equatorial, and savanna zones of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. The women mostly are forced to participate in acts of violence and armed conflict by the army of French. Women and children are targeted to give information about their family members who are simply defending themselves and their families from French Cameroon Army of Occupation. They are exposed to killings on a daily basis and forced to bury their loved ones. Some of you may have seen numerous videos of mothers, of women, grandmothers, digging graves to bury the deceased because their sons or husbands or male family members are either dead, incarcerated, or hiding for their lives. Women mainly experience more disabilities due to the hostilities by French Cameroon's army. We have seen videos and pictures of physical injuries meted on them by the army. For example, broken limbs, burnt bodies, to name a few. They are unjustly imprisoned, also with no access to due process. Several women have been incarcerated for no justifiable reasons, including pregnant women, or actions to terrorize the different communities. They are internally displaced and experience poverty, malnutrition, and deteriorating health conditions. In fact, this is the cause of ill health and death amongst children and women because of the collapse of the health centers or facilities, thanks to the government of French Cameroon, which burnt down these structures through their scorched earth policies. Prenatal care and postnatal care is non-existent, as sometimes women even deliver babies in the bush. Furthermore, many women are forced to use moss plants as menstrual pads. Women and children are separated from the rest of their families, and many are homeless, often experiencing mental and psychological trauma and decline in physical health. Some suffer from depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide, nightmares, headaches, and other health complications, including high blood pressure. There has been an increase in trafficking of women and young girls, sexual exploitation, and rape. We have heard of numerous accounts of women and young girls being victims of gang raping by Cameroon military, after which they are often left to perish. The outcome of these rape incidences is unwanted pregnancies and sometimes the contraction of sexually transmitted diseases. Some of our women are working as indentured servants to survive due to the loss of livelihood. There are also numerous cases of child labor because many children have lost parents or guardians and no longer have adults to care for them or supervise them. Most of our rural women are predominantly peasant farmers. They farm to feed their families and to trade, but most of them have lost their land, and others cannot do farming due to the current hostile environment. The children of the unprivileged are deprived of education, unlike the elites. Now, we understand that the right to life supersedes the right to an education. Therefore, during war times, traditional education in schools is discouraged because of the safety of both students, because the safety of both students and teachers cannot be guaranteed. The case of the Kumba massacre is an indisputable reminder that the French Cameroon government has no fiber of decency when even innocent children were heinously murdered at school in order to frame Ambazonia's restoration forces. Thousands of women and children are refugees in foreign lands, and some perish on their journey to presumably safe countries. Finally, women are widows, most of them forced to become the head of the household and to manage the affairs of the family. Regarding our Southern Cameroon's prisoners of conscience, it is worth noting that at least 1,000 of them are languishing, and that number should be more. At least 1,500 of them are languishing in jails in both French Cameroon and Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Southern Cameroonian prisoners of conscience have been held in French Cameroon prisons since 1961. With the uprising in 2016, we have seen an exponential increase in the number of prisoners. Some of them were arrested and detained because they were just exercising their rights, the right of freedom of speech and peaceful protest. Others were victims of extrajudicial arrest, just for being at the wrong place at the wrong time, or for being sympathetic towards the liberation struggle of the Southern Cameroons. We were astounded by the treatment of the Nera 10 headed by Ayuk Tabe. Their illegal abduction by Nigerian authorities and the Cameroon government is another example of gross human rights violations. Other Southern Cameroonians have been arrested because they didn't dare to defend themselves against the brutality of French Cameroon security forces. Many of these young men have been detained indefinitely with no legal assistance because their families cannot fulfill the illegal, extortionate monetary demands of La République soldiers, police, or gendarmes. To make matters worse, these prisoners live under inhumane conditions that are unbearable and deplorable. They are denied access to humanitarian, medical, and legal support. They live in crowded quarters despite the threat of COVID-19. Those who are lucky enough to be fed more than once a day get some nourishment. At least 25 have died in prisons due to poor health care, poor feeding, overcrowding, torture, and illnesses. At this point, I would like to present very dire statistics from 2016. This may be a duplicate of what we already heard from Secretary Steve, but bear with me. It is recorded that over 500 towns and villages have been razed in some cases, with our elderly parents burned to ashes. The number of Southern Cameroonian refugees worldwide is estimated at over 1.5 million, with about 150,000 in neighboring Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Ghana, and Togo. The rest are mainly in Asia, Australia, Europe, and the Americas. It is estimated that more than 1.5 million persons are internally displaced. The number of prisoners of conscience languishing in jails in French Cameroon, Southern Cameroon, is estimated at 1,500. There are over 5,000 cases of rape victims in major urban areas, and most incidents are not reported. It is a daunting fact that almost every female in Southern Cameroon is in danger of these crimes, regardless of their age group. Due to intimidation and fear, some of these cases often go unreported. It is also estimated that about 5,000 people have been maimed. Despite the severity of these cases, most are treated at hideouts and home because the military invades hospitals in Southern Cameroon, often killing poor innocent civilians seeking medical help. Over 3,000 youths have been reported missing. There are countless of mass graves in Southern Cameroon's north and southern zones. It is estimated that 45,000 people have been killed due to the war since 2017. Yes, it is true that the international community has had this number as 3,000 for a while. They recently upped it to 6,000, but we know that it's over 45,000, and some people think it's more than 50,000. Finally, I will end the statistics section by listing some of the massacres that we have heard, and this may be in addition to what Comrade Secretary Steve mentioned, or a duplicate. So you may be hearing this a second time. The Kwakwa massacre of January 18, 2018, the Menka-Pinyin massacre of May 25, 2018, the Ngo Momo massacre of September 17, 2018, the Jamo Biame massacre of September 22, 2018, the Ndok massacre of October 19, 2018, the Meluf massacre of December 5, 2018, the Guzang massacre of December 14, 2018, the Bello Bakundu massacre of February 6, 2019, the Ala Achu Mankon massacre of August 12 to 18, 2019, the Gabu massacre of February 14, 2020, the Mother Francesca Kumba massacre of October 24th, 2020, the Mao Tu massacre of January 10th, 2021, the Bongo Kumba massacre of March 27th, 2021, the Kondo Titi massacre of November 24th, 2021, the Guzang Batibo massacre of April 2022, the Nissan Metro massacre of June 1st, 2022, the Akwaya massacre of June 25th, 2022. In addition to these massacres, we remember baby Martha, baby Caroles, baby Brandy, the beheading of Sam Sawyer, the beheading of Helen Ayafo, the burning of Mami Api and the baby in Batibo, the slaughter, the killing, the barbaric killing of the journalist Samuel Wazizi, and most recently, the murder of journalist Ayi Nde. And these are just a handful of names that I wanted to share with you. The Department of Women's Services maintains that on this day, 51 years ago, an unconstitutional action by the then President Ahidjo cemented the fate of the people of Southern Comoros to live as slaves and second-class citizens in the construct called United Republic of Cameroon. We, the mothers who continue to bear the brunt of the war, will stay the course until the international community recognizes AMBAZONIA as the 55th nation in Africa. On this day, 20th May 2023, we are informing the relevant international communities or the international community stakeholders that revisiting the history of Southern Comoros is paramount in determining a permanent solution, which somewhat guarantees that La République du Cameroun and Southern Comoros can coexist as good neighbors. We are saying that although the proximate cause of the war that has embattled our people were the strike actions by teachers and lawyers, the root cause lies in our history and is the only way for us to have that permanent solution that we all want. And we thank the United States of America for resolution I'm sorry, I forgot the number briefly, 684, that has clearly stated that the root cause should be examined by both parties to the war, and that La République du Cameroun and Southern Comoros, the interim government of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, AMBAZONIA, must sit on that table as equal parties to the problem and find a permanent solution. Long live the Federal Republic of AMBAZONIA. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, Mapi. Woman, eh?
Hey.
Woman, eh? Who said the mommy then there for house?
Wow,
you know,
wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Woman, eh?
Woman,
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 love me mouth.
Wow, wow, wow.
Hey.
Woman, they don't sleep.
No, the man that don't sleep.
If woman doesn't sleep,
oh,
let the mother talk.
Woman, eh?
Hey.
Make man picking the help on a child, not don't sleep.
Nayo, thank you. You know, they say when you send one girl picking for school, you don't send the whole nation. When I say seven, I don't see, and one woman don't talk, please don't shake.
Amen.
As when mommy that is suffer, girl picking that is suffer. Now so papa that is suffer, boy picking that is suffer. Because who go born them? Who go breastfeed them? Who go cook chop? Abeko, Ambazonian people may wake up. Women's department is there doing a lot behind the scene where we need to see and from. We women's department, you wearing a rain boot. because na field work, sleepless nights to reach out to orphans, to reach out to widows, to reach out to every group of person anywhere, because Mami no dey do something forget the other one, e do for everybody. So make as wey our Mami don talk am, na the cry for every other woman for Ambazonia. I mean every other woman, extend them to other women in the world. For sure, say, see as Ambazonian women that they suffer. My patience, thank you very much for the brilliant, excellent presentation as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisha.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now we are going to be, we are looking at the financial house. Oh, my German mouth. Pardon me. Financial house. So we are looking at the interim, the Ambazonian National Treasury will be coming anytime after now. Okay. DSOS Abono is just coming in now. By so doing, I will plead the indulgence of Masara of the Department of Finance and Resource Mobilization. Thereafter, we will have the Department of the National Treasury with the DSOS Abono, who will be talking to us today. We all know Ma Irene is tied up for today. So I saw Ma Victorine out here. Maybe both of them may be sharing it. I don't know. But if that being the case, they will let us know. And then we are still waiting on Dr. Ellard. I'll reach out to him before these two departments will finish their presentation. So, Masera, the floor is yours to talk to us on financing the Ambazonian quest for recognition. Masera, the floor is yours. Masera, where are you?
Yeah, Marisha.
Yes, ma'am. We are welcome.
Woman, hey.
Hey.
Well,
Another
I just
powerful one is coming up here.
I just want to thank our president, our VP, House of Representative members. I mean, thanks to our chairs in the House, GA chairs, and thanks to the organizers of this occasion, the town hall workshop. Marosha, Dr. Epote, thanks to you all. And today we are here, 20th May, not because we are celebrating what La Republic is celebrating. From the report of SOS Chief, with all the statistics of people killed, murdered, burned in the oil, massacres in our land, and also MAPE, Dr. Patience, we know that there is war in Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. And we sitting here, most of us are in black because we want to acknowledge all that had gone concerning this war, sent to their early graves, the heroes that had been killed, and that is why we are here. Thanks, there can be a war without finance. Of all what the reports we had heard, those that these reports, what they heard and what they are hearing, makes them upset, make you mad. What are you going to do about it? That is a question we ask. of us don't have to be in the home front. Financially, we can do something. So ask yourself that question. Concerning the 20th May today, I want us to take our minds back 2 years ago. 2021, 20th May, 2022, 20th May, and the present 20th May. What do you think? Is Ambazonia winning this war? Your question is as good as mine. And why? Thank God to our IG came up with the strategy of a federal draft. We can see the difference. If you are not seeing it, if you are seeing what I'm seeing on the ground, if you are hearing what I'm hearing on the ground, if you are reading what I am reading, it makes a difference. That is a difference. So we thank our IG for their strategy. We are hearing firepower on the ground areas that they were not active. It's because of their strategy. It's because they put these things together. So again, for those that are not just sitting, doubting, what are you going to do? And that is where, finance comes in. You can't fight a war without money. You can't. And we can see a difference because money makes a difference. Places like Libya, we see that. India, we see that. Hey, that is the strategy. That is what money can do. So back to my talking point. When the IG came up with the federal government draft, we split it into zones. The Savannah zone, we drafted. Midland zone, we drafted. Atlantic, we drafted. And that is the difference. That is why you see all this. So kudos to the federal government. They are doing what they plan to do, and it's working. So for that, but hey, we still need money. And we have the phase of this national federal draft. We call it redemption phase for those that haven't. To be honest with you guys, everybody, I'm going to be honest, I'm so happy, I'm proud of Ambazonia and those that stand for this struggle. We are doing it. I'm not going to beat people. People are doing it. Because if they were not doing it, we wouldn't have been where we are today. People are doing it. Things are tough, but they are doing it. Because what we are seeing is from the federal draft. The actions on the ground is from the federal draft. So people are drafting. So anyway, come back to the redemption phase. Those people that haven't, finished their draft, finished their draft. Most people had finished their draft. Some people are almost there. That tells you Ambazonians, they are ready for the recognition of their independence. Lie no Dede. Ambazonians, they fight for their recognition. So people are drafting, they are paying. But this final phase of this federal draft, which we schedule on the 27th of this May, that will be Saturday, this coming Saturday, we encourage. If you haven't finished, please you do that. If you are almost there, please, you do that. But please, guys, don't come and pledge. We don't have any rooms for pledging right now. If you pledge today, you pay tomorrow. That is fine. And you come with your cash because, hey, money talks. We can see what is happening in the home front because the money is there. You can, hey, we have fighters. They are ready to die. What can we do, us here in diaspora, other than giving them money? What can we do? So let's do that. Final phase of phase redemption draft for Savannah 2020 on the 27th, Saturday coming up. Again, finish your draft. If you are almost there, finish it. No pledging, please, because we have our phase 2 coming, which is the county. And I want to make this clear. Some people were wondering if you paid federal, you're not going to pay county. Let me make it clear to all of us. A federal draft is different from a county draft. You draft your federal draft, you still have to draft your county. So don't carry your debt from federal to county. It will make it difficult. And that's why we are saying, give your federal draft to the government. Let them do their thing. Put, in the hands of our fighters, which they are ready to fight. And we all can see that. Let them fight. Don't wait. Guys, don't wait. There's no room because money talks. You can't win a war just writing, posting, making noise. No, it won't push any inch towards the finish line. It won't. But money talks. So, comrades, for our federal draft, phase redemption phase 2027, bring your cash, finish your draft, and let's push this thing to the final stage. The government is there, they are doing their thing. This time we can see that there are some LGAs, some counties, is because the strategy is in place. And thank to our federal government, our IG, all those behind that. So, comrades, again, I will say, I'm going to take this. If you are in the cabinet, a cabinet member, a chair, an LGA chair, pay your draft, because you cannot motivate any person in your county when you yourself haven't paid. So we are here, we live by example. Pay your draft. Let's push this thing to the finish line. Our fighters are there, they are doing their best, they are fighting, but they just need money for us to equip them. So over to you, Ma Rochelle. Thank you.
Woman, all the woman then don't.
Hey,
why you don't look their mouth, no?
We know we mouth now. We get to open we mouth before we talk. Hey, Masera, you don't do well.
Masera,
thank you.
Hey, Mommy talk say, "Ma tell una something." Una know say when mommy don't wake up for morning, tell say, "Ma tell una this speaking them something." Una know say that day na day where the hot. Masera don't tell Ambazonian Peking then say, "May we not pledge." He don't tell we again say, "Look at the work that is going on down there." He don't tell we again say that the strategic strategies then way this our strategic interim government, we carry on. Now, why we sitting at the happen? And you don't let me know, say the money not fall now for inside thief back. Not fall now inside thief people their hand. It fall now for people their hand where we can trust. If one man will remember how for 20 they thief our 135,000 thief people that be there inside we where that money enter, so the thief and block up place. Then I say so they don't shift. And then the money they enter. Mama Sarah they tell we say, may I tell you something? And that day we don't tell we say na 27th of na June or na May.
May, Mama.
27th of May. May no man no carry over. It's a redemption phase, redemption. So we beg God say, may everybody, I beg my excuse. With the beg God say, may everybody come. No, not pledge. No, try to give the money accordingly. No, give the money. Mama Sarah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I sure say Nijo will be very proud. Nijo will be very proud. I don't know how Nijo go to David. May God bless you for where you go and be successful for thing we stay back or do. Our Department of Finance and Resource Mobilization, that house where if we call, we say LGA, wanna bring them, council, wanna bring them, so that we will push this enemy, them from our homeland. Masira, once more, thank you very much for that mommy talk where you talk and so. Mommy said, I don't tell, we may tell you now. So I'm not gonna forget this talk. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes. We are drawing closer, closer, closer. And by so doing, we are getting to the Department of the National Treasury and
Arizona Commemorative Air Force Museum may be closed by the time you arrive.
DSOS will be talking to us. We present their topic on, oh, my phone is just backing the messages. Sorry. Can't see anything. Yeah. DSOS Abuna, are you there? And from there, we will be getting ready to questions and answers. If we do have some questions and answers to the various departments, and then we will be having our closing remarks from House Speaker, Madam Dr. Winnie Lobati. And then Pastor Victor will give us the closing remark. But before all this, we are getting to listen to DSOS from the National Treasury. Comrade Abuno, are you anywhere here?
Yes, I'm here, Maricho.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you 515, but I can't see you to bring you on screen.
Okay, I'm.
Also, yeah, you left, so you lost the co-host.
Yeah, but I'm.
Can you co-host him?
I'm unmuted.
He's already. I've spotlighted him already.
Really? Can you see him? I'm not.
You can't see him.
No.
I can see him very well.
I'm a bit. I'm sitting in my car. It's a bit dark.
No, I can't even see you. I'm still seeing the Masera screen. Okay, let me come out from Masera. Maybe I'll see you. Okay. I still can't see you.
He can go ahead. He's already on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, my cheerleader, as usual. Thank you for organizing this. It's been very, very wonderful, very informative. I think people need this type of information regularly. Paradoxically, we're doing it on the 20th May, and as Miles Sarah said, we're celebrating, but I think we're celebrating for different reasons. I've listened to some of the exposés as much as I can, because at one time I was driving and it was raining really hard, so I sometimes I lost communication. But I've been able to park in order to come in and say a word. I don't know if Mavic is here. If she would like to go before me, or she would like me to go before. Mavic, are you here?
If she's here, she can put up her hand.
Comrade Bono,
Oh, okay.
represent us. Represent us. You do a great job. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I don't know about doing a good job, but yeah. So Mavic is the board chair of the National Treasury, and Myrin, as you know, is the SOS. So I'm standing here on behalf of these two great women, not for myself. So you know, a lot of the things that a lot of people have said, and our last speaker, Masira, you know, about financing, mobilizing resources, and so on. As we all know, we have our government, and from all the presentations that we've had tonight, we see that we have all our, you know, full departments of a government. The only thing that we are lacking is our territory. So once we get, you know, that geographical location, which is ours, AMBAZONIA, then we'll be able to put all these things in place and hit the ground running. I think somehow, while we're fighting to, you know, to get our geographical location, the idea of this government was is very welcome in that we'll learn state-of-the-art things from various countries where we are, and how to effectively run a government, unlike the colonial government that La Republique, our invaders, are still running. So for now, even though we have a government, we are actually fighting to, you know, to send out the occupier. So if we had our country, then we'll be able to harness our resources in order to finance the various projects that will make life beautiful for our people. And we'll have enough of those resources, natural resources, of course, but we also have a very powerful human potential. Ambazonians are one of the smartest people on the globe that will transform our country. So, of course, now we don't have access to those our natural resources, but at least through this government, we have the IG has put in place a group of people whom, as you can see, are doing their best to make sure that, you know, we prosecute this this fight to its logical end. The only difficulty is that you know, the enemy is sucking our resources and using same to kill our people and burn our villages, and, you know, just murder our people. We all heard the expose from Chairman Steve. So the only thing we are left with is for us, as Marcela told us, to finance ourselves. In history, we've seen other revolutions like this, where they have some major countries supporting from behind, you know, either in armament or financing and otherwise. So far, we don't have any of that. We're still trying to break through diplomatically and otherwise. So, or the only avenue that we have left is to self-finance ourselves. Hence, the need to dip our hands, as we heard from resource mobilization. Really, if you think of our ARFs and even just our civilian population, what they go through, then you will not hesitate to really put your hand in your pocket and sacrifice something. Now, when we get all this money, we have to store it somewhere. And those, if you've been around for a while, you know that we've gone through some tumultuous periods. Some people, unscrupulous Ambazonians, thought that they could play with our money. But as of now, I can assure Ambazonians that your treasury is set on a very powerful footing, and that nobody, I say nobody, can mess with our finances anymore. Your finances are well secured and they are well managed. The Treasury, as many other departments, we have representatives from all the 13 counties. I think as of now we're lacking one or two counties which are not yet fully represented, but it's everybody's represented there, and we learn
all I'm saying is I'm going to tell them that
our
everything
meetings.
these days, whether in meeting, whether in office, they make it optional. You can show up. With all the technology that we have, we can do Zoom meeting.
I think somebody has taken over
Let
from
me
you.
mute.
It
Who is
doesn't make
that?
any sense.
I can't see that person.
Those kind of, which them, if we're gonna, we might don't say nyakagam or tibere bachaka me, and
Where is it?
nonsense. They should find a way. We can either send it to somebody's account directly, you deposit it.
Okay, I found it.
I don't know what he was talking about, but thank you for helping out. So as I was saying, every county is represented as a board member at the level of the National Treasury, and our board chair is Maya Vicky. So keep records of all the monies that come in and that go. We run through a matrix program where we teach our board members, because our board members are the ones to go back to their counties and LGAs to give out the necessary information of how to effectively manage our monies. So already we discourage monies from going into people's private accounts. So we had embarked on a program where every county or LGA could form their own like 501c and have a dedicated bank account that houses their money, and the procedure for that money to go out. Some counties have done so, and therefore, if they don't choose to keep their money in the National Treasury, that is up to them. We don't have a problem with that. Those who have not been able to do so, we house their money, and we assure them that it is available whenever they want it through signing a requisition, so that we'll keep accounts of what we have, of what went out, and so on. So just to reassure all Ambazonians, or LGAs and counties, that if you house your money here, know that the money is safe hands, and it's not going to go anywhere. We also have a financial secretariat, which whereby we give weekly accounts. After the disturbances that the unscrupulous people brought, we've kind of want to restructure that now. So we're working to form a new financial secretariat, and we'll get the names from our representatives. The county representatives will give us, provide us with their new financial team so that we can reconstitute the financial secretariat, whereby we have regular updates from all the 13 counties and the 61 LGAs. So I'm not gonna take much of our time. I think we're the last people for some reason, but the National Treasury is working hard, to make sure that our monies are in good hands, and it's a learning curve for us, so that by the time we get home, we know we already have some very good ideas about financial management. We have, I think somebody mentioned it, almost the aid is our baby, and it's one of the ways whereby the federal government can finance all the numerous projects that it has. The federal draft is there, but we also need aid money, because aid is what gives our government the latitude to be able to take care of various aspects of its functioning that don't necessarily have a nomenclature. So, as we know, aid is AMBAZONIA independence due. So if you're an Ambazonian and you're really for this independence, then you should register, go to the website and register. We've sent it to many fora, and pay your due. Please go there. That website is so very nice. It was very excellently done, and it is very user friendly. You can do a lot of things with it. You can pay your LGA dues, you can pay your ABC dues, you can pay your, aid dues. You can even pay your county draft or your federal draft, whatever you choose. Our technicians are there, like, no enterprise is error free. So some people have had difficulties here and there, a few, not so many. So if you have any difficulty interacting with that website, please, you can take a screenshot and send it to us, and send it through your representative, your county representative at the National Treasury, or you can send it directly to us, and then the issue will be looked into and be corrected. Our comrades in the background are very good at, very prompt at looking at those issues and correcting them. So far, we're getting less and less complaints. I don't know if it's because people are finding it easy or we're not having a lot of people registering, but I encourage all of us to subscribe to aid. In the coming weeks and days, we'll be drawing out reports about those who have subscribed to aid, especially at the level of the government, and also the various departments, and also at the level of the counties and LGAs, so that we can have we can see for ourselves those who have not yet subscribed. Everybody needs to subscribe. So just putting this out there. I'm not scaring anybody, but please subscribe so that when we draw out the report, we don't find your name missing on it that you've not yet subscribed. At the minimum, it's $10, but you can subscribe to whatever amount you feel comfortable with. So if you need the website, always available to send it to you. If you have any questions concerning the workings of the National Treasury, you can channel it through your rep, through your board member. We send it directly to us. We'll be very glad to answer. We have a very dynamic team, as well as Myrin, you all know, and our chair, Vicky, work tirelessly to make sure that everything works well. We'll try to limit the amount of time we take to process your requisitions. We just ask that, you put all the information that is needed there correctly and signed by the appropriate persons so that keep a good record for transparency and accountability. I think I will stop here. Maybe I must have taken a bit more time than I was given, but I'll stop here for now. If there'll be any questions to the Q&A for the National Treasury, then I'll be able to attempt an answer. Thank you, my Rachel, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, my chair lady, for organizing, and everyone who is here, and for the great presentations. Thanks.
Thank you very much, DSOS, Kabuna of the AMBAZONIA National Treasury. Thank you for this wonderful, explicit, tips, secrets, and unknown points that you've given us from the National Treasury. Thank you very much. That very few very few reports or complaints are coming out that, so you want to believe that people are getting it light. There's no more backdoor hitches and all those things. Thank you. And the encouragement that our monies are safe, the encouragement that people filling requisition forms should do it perfectly and correctly for accountability purposes, because sometimes or for quick expedition, for quick signing and release of the money. Because from my own experience taking money from the National Treasury too, by the time the right people do not sign that requisition form, it will be sent back to you, and until the right people, the right persons put their signature on it, such that tomorrow somebody will not say, I didn't know when they signed that money, I didn't sign the money.
Correct.
So I really want to appreciate our National Treasury for this thing, for this exceptional thing that they are doing, because money is hard to come by. Money is easily stolen. Money is easily squandered when it goes to the wrong persons, and when the right persons are not keeping the money, will be complaining. I want to thank you people, most especially Ma, Victorine, and work with her personally, signing money out from the National Treasury, and no time have we had any hitches. And you that have joined them, you've been there. And let me just use this opportunity to thank our wonderful Momo Treasury Board representative, Ma'am Chi, for the wonderful work she's doing. She's putting
It's a
out
great
every
job.
yeah, very great job. I will not forget. I have to say that. And powerful Ma Irene, for which she will shout on everybody when one penny is not coming. When she's getting money, you are talking, you just have problems with her at that time. So her own efforts that she brings in the money, no, now money they follow money.
That's right.
Money they follow money. So when you put the money to go to follow you, when
That's
you
correct.
contribute, people they go to see say you contribute. When people trust you, they go to follow you to give you the money. So we really also thank President Zako for trusting her and making her sit in that place. Please, on her behalf, I would say, may no man of vex. when money they down, my ring go make sure say if take her all, not for any reason, but for the war of Ambazonia.
Yes.
If one may were picking them, maybe the wounded, maybe be healed. The sticks may picking the not lack. And you know how, all we know how when you want to start body go start cry, say join them. So, Comrade Abono, thank you very much. And please, if anyone has a question for the National Treasury, Ma Vicky is still in here. She can chime in the Q&A session. Comrade Abono, the SOS says he will attempt to answer some of the questions. Same goes to the departments that presented before. I can see some of them are still in here. Defense is still in here. Home Affairs is still here. So if we have our questions, we can ask and you get an answer. If you cannot be satisfied at this time because it is probably too late, then you will consult the department sometimes later. But please, this session is for the Q&A, questions and answers. I can see a hand up. Shey Yimbo's hand is up. The county coordinator for we. And before we will take his hand, we will tell ourselves that SOS for Foreign Affairs who promised to come might still come. The Ma Patience is also in here. Dr. Mungo is also in here. So all of the departments are here. So if you have our questions, we will ask while we will be waiting. Dr. Ellen promised to come in. If not, then we will get to Ma Winnie, who will give us closing remarks, and Pastor Victor is going to give us the closing prayer. But before then, we are on the Q&A. Let me take Coordinator Shey Yimbo's hand.
Thank you very much, Mama. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to make a joyful noise here. Let me start by recognizing the protocols of this House, all protocols respected. President, Vice President, members of government, everybody, Ambazonia, thank you so much. I just want to make a comment. I said, today cannot go by, I cannot be in this house and today goes by without me actually making a noise, a joyful noise. I just want to thank Ambazonia, want to thank you all, I want to thank this government for what she is doing to uphold this revolution. You know, we are seeing the ground hot, and I'm talking, coming from Bui, I am satisfied that, you know, every angle is hot, and that is what we need. That is what we need, so that we stretch the enemy thin, and, you know, finally get the final nail on the coffin. Thank you so very much. I just want to plead with Ambazonia, and before I do that pleading, I want to say, woman, action time, now. I remember some months ago, I got up on the mountaintops, and I cried. I said, Ambazonia woman, rise up, because this revolution is going. It is slipping away from the hands of the men. If you do not rise up, you are the mothers, you know where it pains most. If you don't rise up, then we are going to be losing. We are going to be going down the drain. Oh, today, see what Mama Depi do. Thank you so very much. And I want to pray, I'm praying that now that we are seeing how it is not only hot because it is not hot without you know, without any spark. The spark has been this government, and we cannot afford to go to sit here, give any expose, make any audio without recalling the minds of Ambazonians and the world that it is hot because this government has set it in motion again. Let us not allow that credit to be taken away from us. Please remember, nobody. If you make any audio, if you sit on the TV, I'm so happy. I'm so happy when Ma Sarah started in her preamble. She said, "You see, the government promised that it was going to be hot, and you see it is getting hot now, and I want to say it's going to get hotter." And we should not allow ourselves, for that credit to be taken away from us. Ambazonia, I'm so happy with what you did today. All the exposés, all the everybody who spoke, I cannot say it all, but I just want to say that I am proud to be an Ambazonian when I listen to you and when I'm part of such a sitting. Thank you so very much, and may God bless Ambazonia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shay. Thank you very much for these encouraging words. Really, as always, very thoughtful points. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. That wasn't a question, it was just words of encouragement to every Amazonian that runs down our spine. So we know what is expected of us. Thank you, Shay. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for the Women's Department, the Home Affairs, the Defense, the ABC, Communication, the Finance and Resource Mobilization, the National Treasury, even the Department of Education, the organizers of this program, this event, this work session. So we are all ears. What would we want to know?
It seems there is no question.
Well understood, well learned, well listened, well capired. Let me put my German language, well capired. Schon good capired. So, yeah. So, ma'am, what do we do? Ma Winnie should come with
Yes.
remarks, and thereafter, Dr. Pastor Victor Mba will give us our closing prayer. And ABC will give us one take-home song, in whatever form, and we will clap for the day. There's a hand up. There's a hand up. Okay, we have a hand up from Jonathan Gwa.
Yes. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing 5 on 5.
Oh, okay. The question is just out of ignorance, but I'm just curious to know if the Treasury head can just give us a hint about our own currency. That's all.
A hint about our own currency.
Yes.
Wow.
About creating our own currency.
Okay.
I'm
here.
I think the presidency or the Department of Economy could have something to say, but maybe okay. National Treasury, I could hear DSOS already talking. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, my Richard. Thank you, Comrade Jonathan, for that question. You know, as we said, and as we all know, we are still trying to get. I mean, we're already having all the aspects of the government apart from the territory, and usually currency issues go with territory, right? If you have currency, it has to be within a well-demarcated territory. You cannot talk about currency meanwhile you're still having a government in exile. So is something which is in the works, because our independence is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and it's going to be sooner than later. So as soon as we have our territory, those things will be brought from our drawers. They're already in the making, we all know that it will be called the AMBA. I can tell you that for now. And yeah, so it will come, and it will be a very powerful one. So it will come with the independence, very, very seriously, and very, very soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, DSOs. Really, legal tender, as they say, needs a territorial landmass,
right,
where it can function in equivalence to others. It is already there. Wow, Amber. Hey, God.
Yeah, I asked because that's going to boost excitement. Yes, it's going to boost the excitement of everybody concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the citizens, they'll be so happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just be an ambassador. Just be an ambassador, Komojuna, and let them know that as soon as we have our territory, they will no longer see that nonsense CFA franc. They will have a new and better currency called the AMBA.
Okay, just one more question again. The thing is, how do we establish the value of that currency?
Okay, so the what backs a currency is economic strength, and I think our Ambazonia has more than enough resources to back its currency. So our currency, that's why I said that our currency will be a very powerful one because of the strength of our economy, not only from the perspective of natural resources, but also from the perspective of the industriousness of our people. The blessing that has come into us fighting this fight now is that we've been able to learn from others, and we're not going to go into that mistake of depending on only on our natural resources, but we're going to make a blend between the power of our natural resources and the industriousness of our people. You have very powerful countries that have very limited natural resources. Japan, for example, is one. So once we combine that and we're able to, put our assets very well, I mean, your guess is as good as mine that our currency will be strong because there'll be economic activity, not only from Ambazonia, but also from foreign investors. Because Ambazonia will be a powerful and stable nation.
Yep.
So that is what is going to determine the strength of our currency.
That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
I said the response is heartwarming.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it is.
It is really heartwarming. How do they say? Can't get in my English.
is hot and we can. If you haven't, make what you can and help us help ourselves. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. And I'm also thanking ABC for what they do. Thank the ARFs. Thank you all. I appreciate everyone, what you do. And we hope that the next week when we'll be here, we will all be rejoicing because we'll see more numbers push up. I have my own question. It would be nice for us to know the total tally of how much has been collected from our federal draft and how much was pledged. That would be a good information if National Treasury would have given us that. But I'm not asking for an answer this week. Next week, maybe they'll give us that information. Thank you. And Pastor Victor, over to you.
Wow. Yeah, thank you, Mawini. Thank you very, very much for that. I wish National Treasury would have been here because me too, that is part of my curious question before we enter the redemption phase. So thank you very much for touching every corner in the Indian concern. Thank you very, very much. That was awesome. And Pastor Victor, my eyes are already closing. It's 3 a.m. here.
3 a.m. I'm here. I'm at your command.
Thank you, sir. We will just have a very awesome prayer to take us after this warm, long work session day from AMBAZONIA. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. What a day. What a wonderful meeting. I love something I saw here today. I love something I saw here today. You know, we're always prone to have the president in every meeting. And this is what we talk about, delegation of tasks. And be able to trust that those you've worked with are able to do the job without you being there. This is what the previous president failed to do in 40 years in power. And that's why he's still clinging on power, because he has nobody he can trust. He has nobody he has trained. He has no one he has formed after his own image that he can trust in the republic. And that's not the kind of country we want. So we want to thank God for everybody that has been here from the very beginning. SOS Mama, okay, thank you so much, all the way from your own far country there. I know it's late there. I used to be there some back. And to Mommy in Germany, and your eyes are really closed, I can see. And to everybody around the world, we want to say thank you. And thank you to each departmental head for all the exposés and all the this is, you know, one thing I tell people is that in life there will be struggles, and struggles are there to test what your future will be. If you ask somebody who went to medical school how many years they did, all those hard labor years or engineering or any course that you did anyways, it proves you through the seasons and through the times, so that when you get at the top of the ladder, you will value what you have because you've spent quality time studying or learning that thing. I think if we had this, our actualization 2 years ago, 3 years ago, many people don't value it. And many sellouts would have been there to create us problems. But I think this number of years God is allowing us to go through this is to prune the weak seed and know those who can be trusted and those who cannot be trusted. And so that at the end of the day, we will value what we've had and we will cherish it and hold it with some prestige and with some care. I remember the day that the first African American president was going to be sworn in America, Barack Obama. There was a lot of weeping. I see Oprah and the rest crying. You will say, why are they crying? It's the cry of joy that finally this has come to happen after many years of wait, after many years of expectation. I believe many of us will cry at Bongo Square when this will finally be, because it will be finally we're here. And so please, Ambazonians, home and abroad, be very optimistic and know that you are in a good fight, backed by the Lord, and therefore you cannot be discouraged on the way. Those who are discouraged and allow themselves to be sell out are those who have proven that they are so cheap that they are minding only their stomach. Like I've always quoted our famous Nelson Mandela. He said, your true love for people is not known by how much you say you love them, but how much you are willing to lay down your life for them. And our restoration fighters are doing that, and we here are doing that. Anybody that is a sellout tells you that they cannot lay down their life for others. And that's the reason why they sell out so quick, minding only their stomach. But once again, thank you all so much from our VP to everybody, to the House Speaker and everyone. Blessed be the name of the Lord for your persistent and your resilient to see that finally we get home. You are the envy of Amazonia, and please continue to hold that grass, as they say in the dialect. Continue to hold grass strong. Don't let it go, and we'll finally celebrate. Because if it came so easy, we will not value it. Why it's taking time is because God wants us to value it. And when we will finally get it, I bet you will value it, because it's taking us a time and a long way to come. Shall we pray? Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Holy Spirit, that at the beginning we call upon your name to come and lead us. And Father, we can attest the fact that you were with us at the beginning of this meeting and you are concluding with us. Thank you, Lord, for our president that can trust those he has brought up for these 7 years and those he has worked with, that they can go ahead and work and serve the people even without him being there, and they will do a judicious job. Father, we thank you for the organizer. Thank you for the trust that the president gave her to do this, and thank you for the trust that she also trusted many others and allowed them to do presentations. Father, we say thank you. Lord, we know that the nation you are building or using us to build will be a nation of envy to the world, because its nations are laid on truth. And therefore, Father, we are praying for this remnant that is left. We pray for this remnant that is left, that no one will give up on the way. No one will backslide on the way. No one will allow themselves to be compromised on the way. Father, you have equipped us with a burden to stand for truth. You have equipped us with a burden not to sell our consciences for chicken change. Oh, even the Bible said, good name is better than riches. Father, we say thank you for the people of Amazonia that are represented here. Those of them who are recorded, those who are here, even those who are not able to be here, who are standing strong to pray for the abundance of blessings upon them. Bless our people all around the world, those who are standing for this revolution, standing to see that they will be free about it, so that our own children will not need to fight again. Father, I pray for your blessing, that whatever they lay their hands to do, as a source of income, bless them, oh Father, that they will always be enough supply to fight this war until we get to it. Thank you, Jesus, because we will value with jealousy Ambazonia when we finally get it. Because it didn't come in a day, we shall not carelessly handle it. Thank you, Father. I give you back all the glory, all the honor, all the adoration for the success of this meeting, and that you will continue to bless our restoration forces, continue to protect them, continue to keep them safe, even the entire Ambazonia, oh God. And we pray, oh Father, that, Lord, you are the one that have the final say. You can choose for this to end tomorrow. You can choose for this to end in 2 weeks. You can choose for this to end in 2 months. Father, we trust you that sooner than later, you are going to bring this to a closure and give it to us. We look, oh God, and wait for that time. For we are very persuaded that you, oh God, who began this good work to free your people from slavery, will certainly take us through to the end. Thank you, Father. Bless everyone that is here and those who have left already, that will continue to fight for our homeland, that prosperity will be made, and our children will not need to fight this fight again. To you be all the glory, to you be all the honor, for in Jesus' name we have prayed, and God's people said a big amen.
By the interim government on its position on the issue of referendum to all Ambazonians, internal and external stakeholders. There are divergent views and proposals among stakeholders, both internally and externally, on how to resolve the ongoing conflict in Ambazonia that has resulted in an unprecedented 21st century genocide perpetrated by the regime of the Republic of Cameroon, also known as La République du Cameroun. Among these divergent views is a proposal for a referendum to be held in the territory of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, former UN Trust territory under the British, to determine the future of Ambazonia. Cognizant of the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1608 XV of 21st April 1961, granting independence to the UN Trust territory of southern Cameroon and the subsequent non-execution of all the processes of decolonization prescribed therein, the interim government, representing the aspiration of an overwhelming majority of Ambazonians, has been clear and consistent in articulating the basis of the root cause of the southern Cameroon's problem, which is the non-execution in its entirety of the above-mentioned UN resolution, thus paving the way for the annexation and recolonization of southern Cameroon by La République du Cameroun in 1961. Therefore, complete decolonization is what we seek, and this involves complete restoration, absolute sovereignty, and recognition of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia as the 55th state of Africa. We believe a plebiscite, a non-binding survey of our opinion by the US, is an acceptable democratic process to ascertain the majority view of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Since the last plebiscite of 1961, if there is any doubt about the majority position, we object to any proposed referendum on grounds that it presupposes falsely that southern Cameroon is part of the Republic of Cameroon, also known as La République du Cameroun, and is seeking to secede as an independent country. We were granted independence in 1961. It was only the joining that did not take place legally, and the Republic of Cameroon withdrew from the Union project in 1984 when they reverted to their original name prior to 1961. We have never been part of the Republic of Cameroon, so we do not need a referendum to decide if we can separate from a non-existent union. Also, a binding referendum will exclude the genuine dialogues we need to address the root causes of the conflict, because it is based on winner takes all. We are not fighting to change the form of government in the Republic of Cameroon. We are not also fighting for constitutional changes within the Republic of Cameroon, French Cameroon. We are fighting against annexation. We are defending our restored independence. Annexation cannot be resolved through a referendum because it is either a right or wrong issue. Just as the solution of rape is not marriage, we do not need a referendum to tell right from wrong. We need the international justice system or negotiated settlement. If the UN wants to serve the majority opinion on this issue, they should conduct another non-binding plebiscite in the southern Cameroons, not a referendum. This is the threshold position of the people we represent. Therefore, any views or proposals that seek to mask the status quo of southern Cameroon's colonial status under the Republic of Cameroon is far-reaching and do not represent the aspirations of the overwhelming majority of Ambazonians as far as this liberation struggle is concerned. Furthermore, the reasonable, immediate way forward to end this conflict, supported by the international community, external stakeholders, is a genuine, all-inclusive dialogue, mediated negotiation process. The interim government under Dr. Sakho's leadership has advocated for this process, which was spearheaded by the Swiss, but the Republic of Cameroon failed to commit. To concretely resolve this conflict and subsequently resolve the issue of the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia once and for all, another plebiscite preceded by internationally mediated negotiations should be the right steps forward. This is signed Samuel Ikome Sakho, PhD, President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, former British Southern Cameroons, on the 23rd of April 2023. And with that, we've come to the end of this press release.